Everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from The Federalist, dated, or French is Le Federaliste. It's not, I don't know what it is. I don't know French at all. But the article from The Federalist is dated March 20th of 2024. It's a fairly short article, and it is entitled, Yes, Israel is Now a Partisan Issue. And here's dickhead Schumer, who I do not like at all. And it says, and Democrats made it so, as in a partisan issue. So let's go into it. It says, to make Israel a partisan issue only hurts Israel and the U.S.-Israeli relationship, Senate Majority Leader Dickhead Schumer had the temerity to say only days after demanding the Jewish state's duly elected government be toppled. Yeah, and it's funny how... like the United States, we're so arrogant that we can just go, well, this other country who's an ally of ours, they probably need to replace their leadership. It's kind of stabbing them in the back a little bit. And says Schumer was responding to Donald Trump's hyperbolic contention that Jews who vote for Democrats hate Israel and their religion. And to be fair, Trump isn't exactly right. I think he's largely right, but let's see what the writer says. So some progressive Jews hate Israel. True. For all the reasons socialists hate the United States. True. Says others hate their faith, which is why they're constantly creating bogus denominations of Judaism based more on leftist rights than any Jewish culture or theology. Other Jews, sadly, are far too comfortable wallowing in generational victimhood to support a strong Jewish state. Many others simply don't care. So Schumer, though, doesn't hate his religion. He's a devout practitioner. Israel is being offered up as a sacrifice to the partisan gods. And I was about to say, I don't think he is religious. And then I see where he's going with the article. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I get what you're doing here. It says, and as the Democrat Party moves further to the left, and progressivism becomes the ideological hinge on which all issues turn, it will become increasingly antagonistic towards the Jewish state. It seems, well, just go look at all the protests out there every day. Certainly is at this point. Even nominally pro-Israel Democrats have now adopted a vile both-sidesism meant to placate the pro-Hamas left. When Schumer demanded Israel dissipate its elected government on the floor of the Senate, he also made morally reprehensible comparisons between right-wing extremists, in scare quotes, in Israel, and the Palestinians who sexually, these words here that YouTube probably won't let me get away with, but and kidnap women and children. Okay, you can see the words right there if you're looking at the screen. As in functional terms, Schumer is on the side of the Hamas boosters and Dearborn and Islamist regimes. So pardon me if I'm not overly offended by Trump's statement. That's true. Schumer is on the side of Hamas. If you're calling for a ceasefire or that Israel should topple its leadership, then yeah, you're on the wrong side here, especially with all the stuff that's going on. Says Trump bypassed the intractable Palestinians to forge wider agreements between Israel and Sunni Arab nations, sorry, didn't mean to mispronounce that. Says Biden immediately returned to the United States the Obama era policy of coddling the Islamic theocracy in Iran, opening vast resources for them to plow into proxy wars across the Middle East, which is pretty much why they're doing what they're doing right now. Says Trump stripped funding of the UNRWA, which is the United Nations Relief something or whatever the heck, but they're bad guys. They're not good people. Have a lot of Hamas terrorists on their payroll, so which Israelis warned for years was bolstering Hamas attacks. They were 1,000% right about that, because one of the first things Biden did was restore that cash flow. We now know that UN workers not only materially assisted Hamas, but participated in the sexual and kidnapping of women and children on October 7th. And again, don't want to say those words because of YouTube's free speech rules. This is Trump moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, putting an end to the fantasy that the capital city would be shared with the PLO or Hamas or any other entity. Biden and Democrats began pushing for a two-state solution only days after the Palestinian government launched its gruesome medieval attack on Jews. And if you're more offended by Trump's hyperbole than you are by the Biden administration hiring a Hamas-boosting Rob Malley to negotiate with the Jew haters in Iran, maybe you're not pro-Israel. And I think that dude's under investigation. Last I saw, I could be wrong about that, but I think, he was, they figured out that he was working with Iran, and I think maybe even being paid by Iran or something like that. But could be wrong. Go check it out. By all means, fact check me. Because Democrats are more inclined to whine about AIPAC's milquetoast press releases than they are to bring up the fact that Iranian assets are working in the Pentagon, which we've known for a long time. And I recommend clicking on this link here. It's another Federalist article, but you're going to see that there's a lot of people that support the Iranian regime working in our government. That is not good. It says the only party clamoring to save Hamas right now is the Democrat Party. Biden claims he continues to affirm that Israel has a right to go after Hamas, but also wants a ceasefire. Those positions are in direct conflict, as the president accidentally admitted in an interview last week. Hamas, Biden told MSNBC, wanted a ceasefire to survive and rebuild. That only means more dead Jews, so let's try to not have that happen. A ceasefire now, when Israel is at the cusp of eliminating the terror group, is a pro-Hamas position. 100% correct. Because obviously there is anti-Semitism on the right and left. True. But only progressives put on widespread, virulent anti-Semitic protests these days. Only elected Democrats are spreading blood libels and accusing Jews of dual loyalty. Only elected Democrats and liberal cable news networks are repeating Hamas propaganda as fact. And right now, only Democrats are pushing Israel to create a three-front terror state on its borders. Let's not forget how Democrats closed ranks to defend their Jew-baiting squad colleagues, or how Barack Obama, who was not only a close confidant of the bigot Jeremiah Wright and besties with former PLO president, or spokesman, I don't know why I said president, spokesman Rashid Khalidi, but palled around with Louis Farrakhan, turned the Democrats against the Jewish state. Yeah, so Obama's no friend of Israel at all. Like Obama, Biden has been far tougher on Netanyahu than he ever was on Iranian mullahs, repeating Hamas's concocted casualty numbers last week to feed the phony genocide narrative, when Israel has done more to protect civilians during urban war than perhaps any other nation, which is true if you look up the statistics. And I did a video that I don't remember when it premiered, but about the death statistics in Gaza and how they're just an anomaly and they don't seem quite right. So you may want to go check that out. It says, unlike Obama, Biden is not driven by ideological motivations. He's just a weak, feckless man devoid of any real principles. Privately, for instance, Biden allegedly told Netanyahu that he is not trying to oust him, which, if true, means he's only doing so publicly to placate his pro-terror wing. How is that not a partisan issue? So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I mean, it definitely has seemed to me, and again, as you know, if you listen to any videos of mine, I'm absolutely no friend of the Democrat Party. Not a huge Republican fan either, but this all seems to be coming from the left, and specifically dickhead Schumer right here, who he should take off both those things. He is not supporting American interests, and I know he wants Israeli lives, Israeli lives matter sort of thing, but he's supporting the Hamas in this if he's calling for the things he's calling for. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.